Hey gorgeous, this is episode number 254. You are listening to Heart Sells Podcast. I'm your host, Christine Schlonski, and this is Variety Friday. I hope you had a wonderful week, a successful week, a fun week, and you were able to have the impact that you are wanting to make. And to have more impact, I was really inspired by this week's episodes with Matt Inklet because we talked about creating a business that you really love, not just focusing on growth and, creating this big company, but really creating intentionally. And also we talked a lot about profits, and I really want to tackle that topic in this episode because profits are so important in every single business. And the more profits you can make, the more you can actually go for your dreams, the more you can reinvest, the more choices you have, because you need to know your numbers. And this is what this episode is about, knowing your numbers, not just how many people you have to talk to win a new client. That's like, I already talked about that in a previous Variety Friday, but today I really would love to go more into your pricing strategy. So to be able to determine how you price, you obviously need to know what are you spending? Like, what is your business costing you? And now you might say, well, I have an online business. It's not costing anything. It's just my time. Well, it's not really true. I mean, you have to look at all the tiny stuff you might be overlooking right now. For example, do you have any kind of software that you need to pay for on a monthly basis or a yearly basis or quarterly basis? Like, what is that? Get really, really clear on the software, for example. Like, for example, it may be your calendar software. It may be a CRM software. It might be an autoresponder so you can send emails to your tribe. It might be some plugin you are using. Like, there's so many possibilities of more or less smaller amounts, maybe $10 or $15 or $30, that you might put in and you might not really track. And that then when you do the calculation at the end of the month or the end of the year, you are really surprised that you did make money, but then at the end of the day, there was not really anything left because you took out way too much money for expenses and you did not really care about the profits. So I want to invite you today to create 3 amazing numbers. And these numbers are there to give you confidence and also a feeling of safety and security, but also the opportunity to dream big, to get really excited about your business, about what you are creating, and about life, right? So the 3 numbers are: 1, the bare minimum you need to run your business and to survive. Then B, a more luxurious option where you already know, well, you can have a pretty comfortable lifestyle. And then C, I want you to go for that huge, big, scary idea, for dreaming big and having a bold goal that when you achieve that, you will just be blown away. This is right now beyond your wildest dreams. So let's have a look. So you have your business expenses and you need to track really, really in detail what they are. And you need to write that down. So I would really highly recommend you are creating like a table, like an Excel sheet or something, where you write down every single tiny thing. What are you paying for membership sites, for example? What are you paying for software? What are you paying for the masterminds you're in, the coaching you get? Are you paying per month? Are you paying per year? If you pay per year, well, obviously you need to know the months where that payment gets renewed, right? So you can then break it down and you can each and every month put something aside. So when the months that you need to do the bigger payment comes, it's already all in place and you will never struggle with something that comes by surprise, so to speak, because you did not pay attention and you were not really aware that this payment is coming up. So really write down everything you can think of. And then also you want to make sure that, you have food on the table and you have a roof over your head and you have some gas in your tank so you can actually drive your car. So write down what are your living expenses right now. That doesn't need to include the movies or the theater or the shopping trips, like nothing, like the bare expenses that you have each and every month. So you have a roof over your head and you have food on the table. And you can go from A to B, so you can actually go and network and, visit clients if you do that physically, or you have like the electricity paid for that you can turn on your computer, and you have the internet paid for so you can be on Zoom calls. So whatever it is, just write every single expense down. And then obviously add it all up, right? And there you go. That's your number. That's your monthly number. That is the bare minimum. So your business needs at least to give you that number. And obviously that's not the goal of being alive and creating a business to barely survive. But I noticed that a lot of people don't even know that number, so they could barely survive, right? They are pretty clueless. So once you get clarity, then you can actually start focusing. So the next number you want to create is a much more exciting number, right? Here you want to add in, like, what does it take to go to a retreat, to hire a new mentor, to go to conferences, to travel somewhere for your business, right? You want to add all these expenses into that next number, as well as like, what would it take to go at least on one vacation a year? Or to take your family to a really nice dinner out, or to the movies, or whatever you enjoy, right? So you want to put in like the regular life. And with regular life, I mean like what people usually do. That might be a bit different for you than, because you are not the regular crowd, right? You are an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in the making. And usually, you have a little bit bigger dreams, or you are more excited, or you have a different vision than just the standard that society provides us with. So what is that? Like, what is that little extra that already would make your life pretty great? And there's also then the next step that would make life not just pretty great, that would make life absolutely outstanding, amazing, that you could be full of bliss all the time. Right? So you get the second number, and then you know what you need per month to make those dreams come true. And then the third number, I really want to invite you to dream big. And oftentimes when you ask people about that number, they think like, well, I need at least $1 million, right? If I could dream like super, super big, I would love to, travel in a private plane. But the question is, do you need to own the private plane, or do you just need enough money to rent it, right? To charter it. So what is that? What's that number? And then get really, really clear on that number. So for example, like if you say, well, in the second number, you just want to pay or make the payments for your house, then in this number, you'd say, well, I make the payment for my house and I have X amount to maintain my house, to make it pretty, to decorate it in a way I want to decorate it, so that it feels really at home, that it feels comfortable and cozy, and I feel safe, and I have a beautiful office space where I can work and kind of live part of my laptop life, right? That would be something. And then also, what kind of car do you want to drive? Is it really the car you already have, or is it maybe another model that you're dreaming of? And then again, like, do you need to buy it, or can you lease it? Like, what is the amount that you need to make that dream possible? And maybe instead, of one vacation a year, maybe you want to go twice or 3 times or 4 times. And maybe you want that this is like a really luxurious vacation somewhere abroad in a beautiful 5-star hotel, whatever your heart desires, right? I'm just giving you ideas. This is about you. What is your big dream? If money wasn't a challenge, or if money wasn't an issue, what would be your big dream? Like, where would you want to go? Where would you want to stay? what kind of pictures are in your head when you talk about an exotic vacation, right? And then really get clear on what would that cost and how often do you want to go a year? And then obviously add that number up. And then also like maybe you want to go and eat out, right? So are you okay with a fast food restaurant and your big, huge vision? Or would you prefer like really fine dining, like eating in the best places that you can even imagine, tasting the best, most healthiest food? What would that be? How often do you want to do that? Right? And then maybe you are thinking about, well, I'd also love to go to the gym, right? Or I'd like to get a personal trainer. Like, what is it for you and how often do you want that? And how much would that be? Maybe you want to add in some spa days, right? Or for the ladies listening, maybe you want to add in facials or pedicure or manicure. And then also you want some money just sitting aside so that if something happens, you know you have the resources and money is not an issue. So what is your number that helps you to feel safe? That when you know you have X amount in that saving account, no matter what, you will be okay, right? Put that number in. And then also like, what do you want to do? Like, what kind of number would you love to have to maybe surprise your family or your friends with something that you come up with? And what kind of clothes do you want to buy? And how often do you want to buy? Do you want to buy them in maybe a nice boutique, or do you want to have them made for you? What's that number? And then when you add it all up, you obviously know your yearly number, then you divide it so you have your monthly number, and then you go even deeper that you have a weekly number and a daily number. And don't forget, like, depending where you are, put the amount of tax you have to pay, right? The percentage. Calculate that in as well so that you have a real number that you know, well, if everything is taken care of, I paid all my taxes, I paid all of that, then this is a number that I would need to live a life beyond my wildest dreams. And this number is there to inspire you, to uplift you, to help you to move forward, because the more lives you influence in a positive way, the more impact you have, the more you can fulfill your dreams. And then when you really know what your expenses are, and then you know that gap, right, between that these are my expenses and this is like the number I would love to have to make my huge dreams come true, then you know how many people you need to serve, because you know what your pricing is. And then maybe you do need to adjust that pricing. Maybe you need to double or triple your pricing. And obviously you need to make sure that you deliver the value, right? I mean, we cannot just charge to charge. You have to deliver value for your clients. So figure out, how do you deliver that value? How do you create that value? And is it really something that your client might value even more than what you have put on the number, right? So you can figure that out by obviously asking your clients, having interviews, knowing and figuring out how happy they are with the level of delivery that you provided. And, then that will give you an idea how to adjust your prices so that you make sure you make profits with each and every single client. Because these profits will not only make sure that you have everything you need, but it also makes sure that you have a healthy business, a business that will survive in any situation, that is really strong in their foundation, and that will be there for the time being so that you can impact all these lives with your beautiful gifts. So I would love to know how this landed for you. I would love to know about your big dreams. And you can always send in, like updates or feedback or your questions to info@christineschlonski.com. That's info@christineschlonski.com. And obviously you can also hop on over to christineschlonski.com, find the podcast tab, and there you will have the transcript, the show notes, the resources we're talking about. And also once you're over there, sign up for the empowerment notes. That's empowerment right into your inbox with all the updates on Hard Sales Podcast. And also you will probably receive an invitation to the Hard Sales members community, which is an amazing community, a global community for heart-centered business builders. So if you think that's for you, hop on over to christineschlonski.com, find the podcast tab, sign in for the empowerment notes, and see if enrollment is open. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I'm saying bye for now.